All right, question is, how do I get started in property with no money? Well, I can answer that, guys, because I was more or less in that situation. Kitchen table. Okay, what I do not want you guys doing is rent to rent. Now, some good friends of mine do rent to rent, and marvelous and good for them. But typically, rent to rent is basically not owning the assets. And what we want you to do from the very beginning is to be very interested in learning the skills and the skill sets of owning those assets. So, way number one, you have no money, you are hungry, you have time, and you want to make your way in property. Good for you. I want you to look at deal packaging. It's how I started. Let me talk you through the numbers. We charged 5% per property deal, and quite quickly we had to charge VAT. So really our customers were paying 6%. The government took 20% of that, cheers, and we ended up with 5%. So if you are sourcing a deal, which is discounted clearly, but the purchase price is 300 grand. How much cash do you get? 15 grand. 15 grand. Okay, say it one more time. 15 grand. Okay. Now, what if you do that every single week? How quickly can you build up money to employ a team, put down deposits on your own houses, put down deposits on buy to sells, put down deposits on a car if you want to, but I would rather you spent the money on property first, please. But so the first thing is deal packaging. What do you need to do to deal package? You need to match discounted deals and match investors with money ready to buy. How do you do that? Okay, I want you to do 30% of your time on deals. I want you to do 30% of your time on investors and 40% of your time working on your business. Let's talk about deals briefly, and I've got tons more videos for you guys on how to source discounted deals. We sourced 45 million quid's worth of property at an agreed purchase price of 30 million quid in 4.5 years. So I know my stuff inside out. I love sourcing discounted deals. So I'm only going to go into in broad theory. Go check out my channel. There are tons more videos on that. So sourcing discounted deals, you've got estate agents, you've got auctions, pre, during and post, you've got direct to vendor, you've got, which is advertising, you've got direct to house, which is figuring out which houses look really tired, and you've got direct to landlord. Some of these are very inexpensive and time consuming. Some of these are very inexpensive and can be outsourced to other people, like direct to landlord, and some of these are not time consuming and fast, like auctions. So straight away, those are your routes to stock. I'm not going to cover in more detail at the moment because you can check out loads of my other videos. So let's assume you have developed or are developing up the competency to find discounted deals. What do I mean by discounted deal? I mean, if the thing is worth 200 done up, you're buying it, let's just work our way backwards, you're buying it for 150 grand and below, so probably 140, 135 grand. We've done loads of them, because you then want to be putting in all of the costs plus the refurb. They exist before you go, Suze, what are you talking about? 1 to 2% of deals are sold discounted. Go later, hang fire on this video. Later we can show you some other discounted deals. Now, let's talk about investors. Hands up, who would like to buy a discounted deal? Like everybody. I mean, everybody. Who wants to buy a house at 150 grand that's worth 200 grand, or 135 grand that's worth 200 grand. I mean, everybody. But that's on a sale or return basis. Currently, everyone's like, yeah, Sue's totally loving it. Really want to make this happen. Okay, I got the house. Are you ready to buy? Oh, sugar. Oh, melt into the background. So do not take, yeah, honey, I'm buying it as a guarantee. Beyonce, if you liked it, you should have put a ring in it. You need a process for incubating and basically screening your investors. So for me, I like relationships. I didn't do a kind of broad brush, let me gather a few thousand investors and send out deals to them. I basically said, we have so many spots a year because we're going to do a deal a week, and we did 217 deals in 4.5 years. So we pretty much did a deal a week. I mean, they're like buses. Sometimes there's 3 deals come in a week, and then sometimes nothing comes for a couple of weeks and you're like super frustrated, but basically it's a deal a week. So for me, what I wanted to say was, look, if we're roughly doing 50 deals a year, we roughly need 50 investors a year. I charged them money to join my group. Why? Not because I was like, way, I want the money. I charged them money because I needed them to consider and think through, do I feel that working with this woman and her company is a valuable proposition? And so whether you charge them 25 quid, 50 quid, 100 quid, and in the early days I charged 100 quid. Later on I charged 1,000 because I wanted more committed people. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm going to get loads more money. It was like, no, I want loads more commitment. You want them to think, before I write you this check, I need to do due diligence on you. And the last thing you want to do on deal packaging is have somebody going, oh my God, I want the deal, but I'm not really sure about you. No, you separate out the due diligence on, can I work with this human, like me, we don't do deal sourcing anymore, by the way, because I buy all the deals now. So don't contact me, ask me for deals, because honey, they're all mine. Well, and good luck to you getting yours. So you want to make sure that they've made the decision earlier than deal release on the fact that they trust you, you're credible, and they're going to work with you. So separate out those two decisions. Do I work with this company or this person, and do I want to buy this particular deal? And that is one of the reasons I used to put a pay envelope around, to get rid of the sale or return people who are like, Suze, I want to buy a deal, and then they melt away. Where are you, people? And also to make somebody really take their time to do their due diligence at a period that they're not blinded by the sexy deal. So they make the decision number one, which is, yes, I want to commit. Beyonce, if you liked it, you should put a ring in it. And then they make decision two when we release a deal, which is, yeah, I'm going to take this particular deal. So again, paperwork wise, guys, we've got like loads of information on our website. We've got everything we used on deal packaging, all of our sample legal documentations, go grab it. I've also written deal packaging pack, and have a good explore round. So you separate out, you've got the deals, but you separate out the investors to allow them to decide to do a commitment process before they then commit to the deal. What did we do? We used to run investor days. Like, don't think it has to be fancy. We did it. We started off on Saturdays, and then we're like, nah, we need more commitment. We need people who are working to take the day off or half a day off from their job. Like, we seriously need to know that they're into this, because I don't want any tire kickers, because it's a waste of time. I don't want any seller return people. I want committed people, because I want to know that if we go out and find deals, they get released, they get an amazing deal, we get paid, process starts again really fast. And when you're doing 50 deals a year, you can't be messing around with mess around people. It's not a human possibility. So we ended up running investor days on a Monday. Why? Because the people who had jobs had to commit to it, and the people who were full-time investors, well, that was part of their weekly work. It wasn't an extra add-on. It was like, no, you have to cut into your weekly work and your business. This has to be important to you. We used to charge 20 odd quid on Eventbrite for the day. Well, it was a half a day. Why? If you liked it, you should have put a ring in it. I didn't care whether I did it free or not. It was about continually having processes to get rid of tire kickers who are wasting your time. We used to do like recyclable, disposable cups, plates, paper plates of biscuits, and we used to do our deals, our investor days in properties that we were renovating. Why? Because we showed them the real deal. And so we had like a right little geeky ginky like throw up a projector stand. I mean, one of those that, after the 100th time you've unloaded it, it's a little bit wonky. And oh my God, I spent £650 on a projector. It was just like such a mind-numbing spend at the time. So we did have a really nice projector. You don't need to spend that much money. Okay. So then we did we meet and greet. We had volunteers to run the deal events, because everybody wants to hang around a successful property company, and brilliant. And we have amazing volunteers, and we got people in. They turned up. We had their details, and they had name badges. We gave them tea, coffee, biscuits. I did half an hour presentation and loads of questions. Why do we put them in a group? We want to watch behaviour. Why do we want to watch behaviour? Because we want to see the people who are like, I'm happy to cooperate in a group. I understand this is effectively a buying circle, and I'm part of the strong chain that makes this a bit able to happen. We couldn't deal source without customers, but crappy customers meant that we wouldn't be able to deal source because the estate agents would get so annoyed with us. So everybody was in it together, even though they were buying individually. We also want to see, are they rude to other customers? Or most importantly, are they rude to my team? Because everybody was always nice to me. But are they rude to the people that take their coat, give them the tea and coffee? Because when they're stressed, they're going to be that rude to me. So we would eliminate those types of people. We also wanted to see the people that would come and then wait till everybody went home, thus ensuring that my team, both my event crew and also my paid team, had to stay late, because that's actually selfish. Interesting, isn't it? Behaviour. So we were assessing for arty behaviours to try and find the right people. And then often we would take them, like on a tourist walk, come with me to the second project, which was usually around the corner because we were running so many projects. So we didn't need a fancy place. It didn't cost us any money. They would pile in, they would take their shoes off because we often had carpets just going down. We would present to them. We'd fold down £4 seats from IKEA. We'd had a tea urn at 30 quid. This isn't fancy. And we saw how they behaved. Why do we put them in a group? Because it is time efficient. You're running 1,000,000 miles an hour, as we were, and I don't have time for millions of one-to-one investor meetings. So from 2 till 6, 4 hours every 2 weeks, all my investors came. They check each other out. They realise this is a real thing. We always have investors there who already bought deals. Tell them the truth. Tell them all the things we do, that are lumpy and bumpy, as well as all the fantastic things. And they all ask similar range of questions, so we might as well have it efficient and me answer a whole group of people, like 24 people, rather than one. My efficiency goes up by 20, 24. And then we always said to our investors, you have to come at least to 2 investor days before we'll work with you, because we want them to take their time to really do the due diligence before getting them on board. Then they had to sign all the legal documentation, which is understanding the terms and conditions, which again you can download from my website, for the deal packaging service. So what they've done is they've done a lot of human, emotional, business, psychological, travel, and a little bit of money, 20 quid a ticket, investment, before we ever get near a deal. So they've really taken their time. That sounds like a lot of hard work, Suze. Yeah, but almost every single deal we ever sold in 30 to 60 seconds. And bear in mind, if you're selling deals at 300 grand, at 5%, that's 15 grand. If you can do that every week, that's quite useful. You can buy a lot of property with that. And the reason almost every single deal we ever sold on as a deal package deal sold within 30 to 60 seconds is all that pre-relationship work, all that pay barrier, pre-thinking, where we allowed investors to go at their pace to figure out whether they wanted to work with us, not our pace, oh my God, we need someone to buy this deal. So by kind of cranking the handle of repeated investor days, so that you'd have some people going fast, going, oh my God, I can't wait to buy deals for you. Where do I sign up? And I'm like, steady. And some people would take 6 months. We had a lovely run rate of investors to buy the deals. I wanted 4 investors trying to buy every deal. If I had fewer than 4, I'd be worried. I'd need to increase the number of investors in my group. If I had more than 4, I'd be worried because I needed to increase the number of deals I was sourcing to feed that group. If I have 4 investors trying to buy every deal, that's fabulous, because statistically speaking, if we're running a run rate of 1 a week, then within 3 or 4 weeks, those investors are going to be satisfied, and then the next lot of people come on. So yeah, there's some work, but if you're sat there with 0 cash and you're hungry, I didn't sit with 0 cash. I pulled 60 grand out my mortgage, got started, and then, as all of us do, ran out of money. Then deal packaging with putting those systems in place is a fantastic way to start in property with no money. You can earn serious amounts of cash really fast. Selling every deal in 30 to 60 seconds is a joy, because you've done all the work, you've figured out which wonderful human beings you want to work with in advance. It doesn't sound impossible, does it? I did it. Mum of 2, kitchen table. So if I can do it, you can do it. Good luck to you. All right, guys, now you know how to get started in property. For step number 1, go to the next vid and we'll show you how sourcing discounted deals works. That's where you make your money.